Hi everyone, welcome back to the Sublimation Beginner Series. I'm so excited. We are officially on part 2 and today we're going to talk about printer maintenance. Printer maintenance is so important, especially for converted printers, because if you don't keep up with your printer, you can have your prints, I have so many papers here, I don't even know which one I'm trying to grab. You can have your prints looking like this, which we don't want them to look like this. We want them to look like this. Super colorful, super clean. If you own a printer, you know the struggle of getting these prints, clogged nozzles, missing colors, faded prints. But don't worry, today I'm going to show you how to get your really bad colors back to super good colors. Let's go ahead and talk about why printers get clogged, how to prevent clogs, and how often you should be printing to keep your colors looking the best. And to make it even easier for you, I'm using my Crafty Caddy Purge sheet that you can get on my website. So first, let's talk about why sublimation printers get clogged in the first place. Sublimation ink dries fast, and that's great when you're transferring onto blanks, but not so great when it's sitting in your printer. If you go too many days without printing, the ink that's inside starts to dry and gives you all sorts of issues. All sorts of issues. And this is more common when you convert a printer because these printers are not meant to hold sublimation ink. So if you're planning to convert or if you already have a converted printer, it's super important to keep up with your maintenance. Here are a few ways to keep your sublimation printer happy. First, print at least once a week. Even if you don't have a use for that print, if you don't have an order, or if you're not working on a specific project for that week, it's always good to print out my Purge sheet or a design that's one of your best sellers. That's why I like to print popular designs because I can always just use them later on. Another tip is to use high quality sublimation ink because cheaper inks clog fast. So I always recommend sticking to trusted brands. And lastly, keep your printer in a temperature controlled room. Too much heat or too much cold can mess with the ink flow. It's actually kind of funny because usually around this time, December, January, when it's a little colder, my sublimation printer gets clogged more often. It's because it's colder and the temperature is kind of all over the place. Alright, let's get into purge printing. If I'm going to print for the first time during the week, I always print a purge sheet first to make sure my colors are good. And since my printer's colors are off, let's do a purge print to get them back. So a purge print is basically a deep clean for your sublimation printer. It flushes out old ink and gets your colors vibrant again. First, grab my free Crafty Caddy Purge sheet from my website. It has the primary colors in large blocks, so the ink flows through every nozzle evenly. We're not sublimating this onto anything, so don't waste your sublimation paper. It's too pricey for this step. Load plain copy paper onto your printer since copy paper works just fine. And now just print the purge sheet at 100% scale. If the clog isn't too bad, one print might do the trick, but if your colors are missing, keep printing until they come back. I usually print about 5 sheets double-sided for my first round of printing, and once those are done printing, usually you'll be able to tell if you have an issue with a specific color or if it's all colors, which hopefully it's not. If only one color is clogged, I also made individual color purge sheets so you can target just that color instead of wasting extra ink. Honestly, I've never really kept track of how many pages I print or how long I do this for. But if you feel like you've been doing this for a while, what I like to do is I let the printer rest for a few hours and I try again the next day. Sometimes giving your printer a break works just because the ink may need a little time to settle. Once you're back the next day and ready to start printing, same thing. I usually print out 5 sheets, double-sided, so about 10 purge sheets. Have you ever had a clogged printer? How many tries did it take you? Or what other methods did you try? I'd love to hear about it. If the colors still look bad after a full day of purge printing, run a nozzle check. We're just going to wait for it to turn on and I'm going to show you how to run a nozzle check. So to run a nozzle check, you are going to go to Settings, Maintenance, Nozzle Check, hit OK. We're going to print a sheet of paper, so remember, oh you can't see it, but we're using plain paper and we're going to hit print. So if after you've done your purge printing and you run a nozzle check and there are segments missing, as you can see right here, the magenta is missing. A printer is going to ask you, are there any missing segments? So you'll just say yes. And then it's going to ask you clean print head and you will click yes. and then your printer will run a cleaning. Just be careful because they can create waste ink, and once your waste ink tank is full, your printer will start acting up. That's why I try to avoid unnecessary waste whenever possible. That's why I like to do my purge sheets instead of running cleanings. And after a few tries, my colors did get better and they are finally back to normal. Purge printing is one of the easiest ways to get your colors looking good again and to keep your printer functioning perfectly. Just remember to print at least once a week and to head over to my website to grab my free purge sheet. If this video was helpful, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss part 3 of the Sublimation Beginner series. Happy printing and see you in the next one!